So again today I would be only allow for that 10 minutes. After that, those who would be trying to enter into the lecture, I would be not allowed. So the discussion of topic for today is the adjustable voltage regulator LM337. I hope all of you have draw this. Okay. Now we have to be discuss the detail of this block diagram LM337. If you would be see in the LM337 block diagram, it is a series regulator. It is a series regulator and a Darlington pair. It is a series regulator and there is a Darlington pair which acts as a series pass element. The output voltage, it is taken from the terminal number 3, input is given to the terminal number 2 and adjustable is the terminal number 1. It is little bit different from the LM317. Now you have to be see this output voltage is compared with the reference voltage. This was the reference voltage across this diode. This is the Zener diode actually. Okay. So if you would be see here, this output voltage is compared. In this particular terminal, there is a output voltage which become, and here is the reference voltage, the positive terminal of the op amp or comparator you can say, and it would be compared with the internally and produce an error voltage. Here error voltage would be produced, that is given to the base of the Darlington pair, this input of the Darlington. Okay, and as this error voltage is deriving the Darlington pair, so in this way this regulator would be regulate the output voltage. Apart from this output and reference voltage, there is a adjustment current that would be flow into the non-inverting terminal which is connected to the reference point, and there is a R limit resistance that is connected to the output of the Darlington pair, means emitter terminal, because collector is common here, so output is taken from the emitter terminal, and through this there is a limiting resistance is connected, and it is connected, another end of the limiting resistance is connected to the input terminal of the adjustable voltage regulator IC, and the voltage across this limiting resistance would be proportional to the output current. Whatever the voltage drop across this R limit, this would be proportional to the output current I naught, and this voltage, whatever the voltage drop across this R limit, is applied to the where internal protection circuitry. Here you can see the block of over temperature and over current protection circuitry. Okay, and whenever this would be protect the IC from over temperature and over current. So whenever if the load current is exceeds over the limited or beyond the maximum value of the current, then what happens? This Darlington pair would be turned off automatically and save the IC or protect the IC. So whenever the current flowing into this particular current protection circuitry is beyond the maximum value of applicable current, this would be automatically shut down this Darlington pair, and in this way your IC would be protected from the overflow of the current. So this is the description of LM337. So you have to be always describe by considering the all three terminals, because adjustable voltage regulator having the three terminals, input, output and adjustment. So in your description, the importance of all three terminals should be kept. Okay. I hope all of you have understood the working of this LM337. Now we would be discuss the features of this LM337. One thing, remember that what is the difference between this diagram and the previous diagram that we have discussed for the LM317. What is the difference? Can anyone tell me? What difference you have find out in this diagram and the previous diagram of the LM317? Please answer. Jadhav, Priyanka, can you tell me what is the basic difference between this diagram and the previous diagram of LM317? English Kalyani, have you draw both the diagram? This is the first question. English Kalyani.
Yes, sir.
So just check the diagram and tell me what is the basic difference. What the difference you have find? First difference is the terminal numbers of the input and output. In the previous LM317, the 3 number terminal is here, but it is representing the input. Here it is representing the output. And the 2 number terminal is here input, but in the LM317 it was the output. This was the first difference. But if you have to see the circuit wise difference, so the polarity of this Zener diode has been reversed. In the previous case, even it is connecting to the non-inverting terminal of the comparator. Here also it is connecting to the non-inverting terminal of the comparator, but the polarity is now changed. Now the cathode is connected to the positive terminal of the comparator and anode is connected to the adjustment terminal. But in the case of LM317, what was there? Sorry, in this case, you have to see cathode is connected here, adjustment, and anode is connected to the non-inverting terminal. In the previous case, it was reversed. It was like this, and it is connected like that. In the LM317, your anode would be connected to adjustment and cathode would be connected to the non-inverting terminal. So because of this reverse of the connection, what happens? Output voltage would be become negative in polarity. So this is the basic difference between the diagram of LM317 and LM337. Both are exactly same in feature and the operation. Only the difference is that polarity of the output voltage. So I hope you have understood that why this would be produce a negative voltage, because of this connection, and even the terminal has changed. Okay, so here the output terminal would be at the lower potential and input would be, we will see that in the further description of that. Already we have discussed the operation of this LM337. Now we have to see the features. So what was the feature? Output current in excess of 1.5 amperes. So in the case of LM337, maximum output current is 1.5 ampere. If it would be go beyond this value, what happens? Your over temperature, over current circuitry would be come into the action, and it would be automatically shut down the Darlington pair, and that would be turn off the IC. Okay. Now the second feature is output adjustable between minus 1.2 volt to the minus 37 volt. Here you can see that there is a negative voltage as output. It would also provide the internal thermal overload protection, internal short circuit limiting constant with the temperature, means it would be provided from the short circuiting. It would be provide you the ripple rejection up to 77 dB, and line regulation is 0.01% and load regulation is 0.3%. In the LM317, load regulation was 0.1%. There are some minor differences, but you have to be remember all the features and able to distinguish the features of LM317 and LM337. I hope all of you have noted down these particular features. Now we have to be see a typical connection diagram for the LM337. So see in the slide, there is a two connection diagram I have shown, and there is a partition. Either you can follow this or this, both are correct. Do not go for drawing both up, but I would be suggest all of you please draw this diagram. Second one, this was taken from the ON Semiconductor data sheet, and this was with the connector from the other side. Both are taken from the different data sheet. Otherwise operation is same, because in the case of LM337 output is a negative one. Here it is also negative because the polarity is different, and it is a ground. So it is a higher potential. Ground is higher than the negative voltage. And in the second diagram, what we have seen that, as we know that output is lower than this ground voltage. So what we have done, we have flipped the diagram, and ground signal would be shown at the top, and the negative signal would be shown at the bottom end. So this is the correct way of representation. So I would be suggest you that please draw this diagram. And if you have to be see the connection diagram, it is quite similar to the LM317. Through the adjustment terminal, we have connected. It is a terminal number 2, 3, 1. So it would be connected to the two resistors R1 and R2. Here we have decreased the value of R1. In the previous case, R1 was the 240 ohm. It is now 120 ohm. Okay. And here, this is the variable resistance as it is R2, and the I estimate current would be flow between the I estimate terminal to the IC. The direction of flow of current is opposite now because the polarity is reversed. The ground is higher potential than the negative value, and the capacitor would be connected as it is. We know that why the input capacitance is connected. If your power supply would be far away from the IC, then you have to be connect this input capacitance. Okay, and C0 is connected to reject the ripples as well as improve the transient response. So the purpose are similar, only the polarity has changed. So I hope all of you have drawn this now. Again, the voltage formula would be remaining same. V0 would be 1 plus R2 upon R1 into V reference. Only the thing is that it is negative. Okay. Anyone has any doubt till discussion or whatever the discuss we have today? Anyone has any question? Please you can ask. Okay. So I move to the next topic, that is advantage and disadvantage of the adjustable voltage regulator. This is not for LM337, it is combined. I am saying that adjustable voltage regulator. So what are the advantage? The ripple content in the output voltage waveform is very low. Why? Because we have connected the C0 across the output. So ripple content in the output voltage waveform is very low in the case of LM317 or 337. No radio frequency interference or electromagnetic interference would be present in this IC. So this is one of the advantage, that it would be free from the electromagnetic interference that is present in our environment. Okay. What are the disadvantage of this IC? Its efficiency is low and of the order of 40 to 50%. So you can see that the efficiency is quite low here. It is up to maximum 50%. And it also requires a large heat sink for the power transistor is required. So we know that the output timer would be heated up quite early for the longer time period if it would be operated. So we have to be required a large heat sink. Okay. There is another circuitry of this particular IC, that we have to be required to boost the current as per the application. And when we have to boost up the current, then the heat dissipation would be more. So at that time, because at that time we have connected the power transistor to the LM317 or LM337 IC. So at that time we have to be required a large heat sink. Okay, so this is one of the disadvantage. So we have seen the advantage and disadvantage of the adjustable voltage regulator. These are the important points you have to note down. Now at the end we would be discuss the application. So what are the applications? There are the multiple applications of this power supply, like DLP or 3D biometrics. DLP, all of you are familiar with this. Digital DLP is already present in all the classrooms. Okay, so DLP projectors are there. Now consumer electronics, whatever the electronics items we have to use our day-to-day life, they also require a power supply. So we can use the adjustable voltage regulator there to adjust the voltage range. Portable applications, portable device, whatever the portable device you have, maybe iPad, mobile phones, all we have to be required this. High voltage AC heating application, ventilating and air conditioner systems, we have to be required the adjustable voltage regulator. Hydraulic valves, we have to require the, in manufacturing industries we have to require the hydraulic valves, or in automobile industries there we have to be required the adjustable voltage regulator. To motor control we have to require the adjustable voltage controller. High speed data acquisition system we have to require the adjustable voltage regulator. So there are the various application, you can say the area of adjustable voltage regulation is very large. So take care of this, and remember, if anyone asks you, generally in the interview they ask the question related to the supplies, power supply. If you have to go for the interview of any power generation or power distribution company, or maybe any core electronics company, they could be asked about the power supply. Okay. Now we have to be see the some other circuits that would be required as per application wise. So the first one is the output current boosting circuit, that we have discussed in the disadvantage of the adjustable voltage regulator. So generally what happens, it is possible to increase or boost up the maximum current that can be drawn from the IC LM317. For that, we have to be required to connect the external transistor, and it is given here the name as Q. So for this purpose, you can connect a power BJT or power MOSFET as external unit, and this external transistor Q is basically a power transistor which is capable of carrying a large current. And we know that all BJTs having the base to emitter voltage, generally it is 0.7 volt because it is made up from the silicon. So VB is always a 0.7 volt. So to turn on this transistor, we have to be required minimum voltage 0.7 volt. So we have to see that this circuitry. Please, all of you, note down this circuitry. On the base of this circuitry, we have to be discuss the further equations. Okay. So I would be give you the 1 minute time to draw this diagram. Now I am going to close the entry in my lecture. I hope all of you have 30 seconds are remaining for drawing the diagram. Please draw this diagram. It is very important. If it is, there is a one line is continuous coming. I hope there is some problem is coming for sharing. I am again sharing my PPT. Now it is better visible. Okay. Draw this diagram. Now on the basis of this diagram, we would be discussed. Here you can see it is little bit different or some addition actually in the basic LM317 connection diagram. Here we have connected the additional transistor Q, and it is a. Can anyone tell me which type of BJT it is? It is PNP or NPN?
PNP.
PNP. What is the name?
Sushma.
Very. It is the correct answer. It is a PNP transistor. It is identified from this arrow. When it is inside this particular base, so means it is a PNP. So this is the emitter. Wherever there is a arrow, this is the emitter terminal. This was the base, and the other opposite of this emitter is the collector terminal. Okay. Now, if arrow direction is outward, then it would be a NPN transistor. So this emitter of this PNP transistor, it is the number of the transistor MJ2955. You can take other also, other power transistor also. So this is emitter terminal is connected to the input terminal of the LM317 through a resistor that is called R3. I have given the name R3 because already we have given the name of R1 and R2. So the next one is the R3. You can give any other name also, R in like this. It is not a universal that you have to give the name R3. So the input terminal of the LM317 is connected through R3 to the emitter terminal of the BJT. Okay. Now the collector terminal of the BJT is connected to the output terminal of the LM317. And the third one is the adjustment terminal. It would be as it is. R1 and R2 is connected, where the R2 is a variable resistor to adjust the value of the output voltage. And there is, you can see that one resistor is connected here. You can't say it is C0. You can just give it as C. C0 is generally parallel to the output and this terminal. Okay. So it is also a capacitor that is connected to reject the ripples present in the output of the regulator or to improve the transient response. And finally, we have connected a load across the output and ground terminal. Okay. This could be a resistive load or could be any other kind of the load. An input is connected to the input terminal LM317 and the ground. Now IC, you can see the IC. This is the collector current is flowing through the collector terminal to the output terminal of the LM317. This is output current I0 that is drawn from the IC. I1 is the input current that is drawn into the IC. So you can see that I1, I0 or even I adjustment, these all are the internal current of IC. IL is different from I0. Okay. And maybe it is a combination of IC and I0. There will be some and then the IL would be produced. Similarly, this is the base current that is coming into this node, and there is a IR3, that is the current flowing to the R3, and that would be construct the I1. Okay. And I1 and I0 is nearly same because there is no drop of the current in the inside the IC. Okay. So I hope still you have draw the diagram. Can we discuss now? So as I have told you that Q is a power transistor. It is capable of carrying the large current. Let the base to emitter voltage. Base to emitter means this. Base to emitter voltage VBE is what? In this circuitry, VBE is equal to 0.7 volt. It is a general perception for any. But what is here VBE is actually, it is a equal to, it is actually base to emitter voltage, but it is also equal to the voltage drop across R3. So whatever the voltage drop across R3, okay, that would be the same as the VBE. Okay, because there is no resistor, so whatever the voltage would be dropped here, that is same as the VR3. Or you can apply in this particular loop, you can apply a KVL. You would be find the what I am saying, it is correct. Okay. So this, even you apply the KVL here, so VBE is equal to the VR3. Now, for the small value of the load current, means IL, when the IL is small, the current through IR3 is also small. Both are correlated. Why? Because I1 is a combination of IR3 and IB, and I1 is equivalent to the or proportional to the I0, and I0 is an element of the IL. So if IL is small, means I0 is small, means I1 is small, means IR3 is also small. If IR3 is small, the voltage drop across R3 is small or it is less. And if voltage drop across R3 is small, means it would be not equal to 0.7. It would be less than 0.7. And till it would be less than 0.7, it would be not able to turn on the transistor Q. So it would be remains in the off state. So what we can do this in this condition, as the voltage drop across R3 is less than 0.7, Because of that, VB would not equal to 0.7. So your Q, transistor Q is turned off or remains off. So because of that, what happens? The current boosting, the purpose of this circuit would be not fulfilled. So what we can do for this boost up or increase the current? For that purpose, we have to be connect a higher load. We have to be increase the value of load. When the value of the load would be increased, your IL would be increased. If IL would be increased, I0 would be increased. If I0 would be increased, I1 would be increased. If I1 would be increased, IR3 would be increased. If IR3 would be increased, the voltage drop across R3 would be increased, and it would be reached to the 0.7 volt, or maybe more than the 0.7 volt. It doesn't matter. And once the VBE, because VR3 is equivalent to the VBE, when it would be equal to 0.7 volt, it would be turned on the transistor Q. And once the transistor would be turned on, it would be start to conduct, and the IC would be start to flow. Okay. And as the IC would be start to flow, then what happens? Even again the load current would be more increased. And in this way, we would be achieve a larger load current that would be applicable for the lots of applications. In this way, we have to be boost up the current, and it is called the current boosting. Okay. Now, I have already explained, but I would be explaining with the help of some equations. And I have also turned on the chat box. You can enter your attendance now. Okay. And some students are still trying to enter into the lecture. I would not give the permission. Again and again, I have lots of time announced the conditions to attend the lecture. Now, we have to be understood this with the help of equations. So this is the VBE, voltage drop across R3. As the IL is increases, IR3 also increases, and the voltage drop across R3 would be increased, and it would be reached to the 0.7 volt and turn on the Q. So in this way, now IL is, in the previous case, till when your Q is not on, IL is equivalent to the I0. But now IL is a combination of IC and I0, because we have turned on the Q. And as we have turned on the Q, what happens? This IL would be summation of collector current and the output current. Okay. But we know that collector current is what? It is beta IB, beta times IB. We have already learned in the basic electronics. So beta is the current gain factor. Now, we have to be define the IB, base current here. So what is the base current as per the circuit diagram? If you have remembered the circuit diagram, what is the base current? IB is I1 minus IR3, because I1 is a combination of IB plus IR3. So can we write it as, can we write like this? As we have seen from the circuit, I1 is a IB plus IR3. So IB is I1 minus IR3. So I1 is I1 minus IR3 is what? VB on, the turn on voltage of the base to emitter, upon R3, because only resistor is R3 there. So in this way, we know that there is no voltage drop across the IC. So I1 is equivalent to the I0. I1 is equivalent to the I0. So IB would be now I0 minus VBE on upon R3. Substituting this value of IB and IC into the equation number 1, where we have defined the IL is equal to IC plus I0. So you can see IL is, IC means beta IB plus I0, and we know that the formula of equation of IB from equation number 2. So beta I0 minus VB on upon R3 plus I naught. Okay. Everyone note down this. Then we have to further elaborate this equation. Okay. Now, when you elaborate this equation, so IL would be what? We have to be take the common beta term would be one side. So it would be IL is equal to beta plus 1 I naught minus beta into VB on upon R3. So can we write this equation is also sufficient, equation number 3, but if you would be approximate the value of load current, it would be equivalent to the beta plus I naught. In this case, we have neglect the second term. You can neglect the second term, okay, because the ratio of this would be very less, 0.7, and then R3 is suppose 10 ohm, this is 50 maybe. Like this, you can see that this would be very small compared to this. Okay, 51 times I naught, and it is suppose 10 ohm and 50, so 5 times 5 into 0.7 is 0.35 volt. That is very small. Okay, so in this way we have seen that your IL is boost up or your increase by the factor of beta plus 1. So this was the all about the output current boosting. In the next lecture, we would be learn about the low dropout voltage. Okay, thank you all of you for attending the lecture today. Thanks all.